We are gathered here today to have a negotiation between 5 countries: United States, Mexico, India, Canada, and China. So you must trade, negotiate, and cooperate with your fellow countries in order to obtain the materials needed to construct these pieces.
All the edges of the shapes have to be completely straight as though cut with scissors. We have seen delegates get very creative, and of course black markets can form, but we are, and the bank will still look for quality control of a straight cut edge.
The only way we're going to be able to make these fun parts is if we all work together. I have a projector. One of you has a pencil. One of you has a paper.
She's handing up a paper. What does yours have? Well, I'm gonna go. Wait, what is it? Yours is paper.
Okay.
It's over there. Want me to get some loose in there?
Yes.
Not that power.
What do they have? What do they have?
We can only make diamonds.
Bro,
All we have to do is make diamonds.
What are you offering this trade?
I'm offering the scissors for $1. It's a good deal.
How about
We understand your frustration, but you must understand, as a democratic nation, we are committed to ensuring that every single person has a say in our economic relations. It's been very hard for us to come together and deliberate because we've been constantly crowded. However, we have sent multiple delegations out to every country to discuss possible options.
It can only work if everybody chooses to cooperate. Cooperation is the name of this trade. We all have different things, and to create any of the products that have been shown, we have to work together and we have to unite as one group.
Canada did like Mexico and India's idea about everyone giving resources to every country just to make it fair and that no country is left out.
I like to notice that China has scissors, which is like very useful for cutting all of the batteries and the different parts of the iPhones and the scooters.
we all have things that each of us want, and we know that. So it is important for all of us to come together and share what we want. US, it has paper. China has pencils. We can all use these things to not only make the most profits for all of our countries, but also closen world ties, and not only better the lives of our citizens, but better the lives of everyone in this world. Like, what I think we need to do right now is we need to look out at what we have, which is this protractor, not protractor.
There's pencils and scissors.
Oh, I do actually. There's a way to cut it without actually.
If you have a ruler, you can just cut along the edge of the ruler.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, no, but it's like hard because then the ruler needs to stay cemented.
So-
Okay, well, offer them either a pencil for a minute or scissors for a minute.
I
We're gonna
don't,
copy it.
I don't think they're gonna allow us to use our own outside supplies like the placard.
The paper that they gave us and just try and like work with every country that we can to make the most.
You see how easy that is?
But it should not be a jagged.
No, I know.
That was my first. Rectangles, they pack better than circles. Okay. We can make it so much more than
We'll give you access to our triangle because we can't make.
Yeah, and you can only sell the entire phone.
The current deal that's on the board that most people have been selling won't be very beneficial for us. Because let's face it, we don't bring much.
If everyone's okay with this, and because Mexico is being annoyed right now, what I can do is I can lower this to, I can lower the portions of this. The US would get 2 portions and 1 portion to counterfeit this portion, and Mexico would get 4.
That's 35 to
These are equal. That is.
See, it's fine.
So this is per.
Yeah.
Guys, I made a
India has too much of a say in everything.
Did I say? The United States has received various offers from various different countries, hoping to do 1 minute of scissor time or 1 minute protractor time for a couple sheets of paper. However, that sort of deal that is one-sided is not going to create an efficient manufacturing environment. We need collective unity.
We are happy to contribute our resources, but a concern that we do have is time and how we're going to get this done efficiently, because a lot of stuff needs to be cut, a lot of stuff needs to be drawn, So we believe that our focus now should be on actually getting the parts made.
Because if we all keep going by ourselves and trying to trade for pieces of a phone, we won't get to the same place. We might all get to maybe making one phone, maybe 1.5 phones. But if we all come together, we might be able to make 3 phones.
Canada believes that U.S. should get 35% of the whole total. Then China also gets 35% just because that the U.S. supplied paper and that China supplied scissors and pencils. And that's necessary for all the things we need to make a cell phone.
This new plan proposed by certain members of the China and United States is just a plan to suffice their greed, to get more money, even though this earlier plan benefits the majority of the countries further. Mexico, Canada, India all make more money in the earlier plan. And that's necessary because we want to make sure we can create a place where everyone can agree to work on this together. We can't have certain countries money hog even when they aren't necessary for that.
India supplied 2 materials, Mexico supplied 1. And how are they getting more money in this original plan than Canada, who has to approve all of the pieces?
The splits between India and Canada need a bit more reworking. So combined, they have 23 out of the 64 shares in the amount of money that is gained. So I'm wondering if India is amenable to us getting 11 and you getting 12, or that can be switched around.
We simply want everyone to agree to this amount. And so that we already have the phones manufactured. Right now we're all squabbling so we can get the most money. And I urge you to put away your greed so we can get this done. When you look back on this, $5 or 1/16 isn't gonna be what you see most.
One of these plans is an unjust movement of funds towards 2 larger countries that claim they provided most of the resources, yet could not have done any of this without the other 3 smaller countries.
The United States smiles upon both of these ideas on splitting profits. But we would also like to note that Canada provided the semiconductors, another one of the extremely useful parts.
You need to understand that Mexico and India are giving around the same amount as the U.S. and China and everyone else. It doesn't make sense that the U.S. and China are getting 5 times more than Mexico and India.
Complying with the requirements, they would get 7.5% of the profit after the phone returned in. Is it right that after they had agreed to this condition, they now change it so Mexico gets less?
Here are the guides for voting blocks. So the doors are locked. For motions, we need a simple majority, but for trade agreements that will be signed by all parties, every party involved must agree. There can be no lobbying or crosstalk. This will be punishable by expulsion from the room during voting block.
I would like to address how Canada and Mexico are partnering, and we are lowering tariffs on Mexico by 5% each month. We are doing this because we would like to strengthen our relationships with Mexico so we can import and export things directly with each other.
China would like to propose that the U.S. reduces their tariff on China from 25% to 15%, which is equal to the amount of the tariff percentage that China has on the U.S.
So now we're going to get into the implementation of tariffs. We're going to have one president from each country stand up and let the entire delegation know the tariffs on which country and on what products.
India would like to decrease its tariffs on the United States by 0.5% each year for 10 years. And then also they would like to do the same thing with Canada.
We would like to match India on gradual 1% raise on tariffs with China and gradual decrease of 0.5% on Canada. So actually, I don't think these for the next 10 years with India. I think these for 5 years because we.
While simultaneously, with the understanding that Canada will hold up their end of the bargain, we like to remove tariffs on Canadian goods. With the understanding that they will simultaneously do that. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just going to remove those on it, like tariffs.
So now that we have concluded this negotiation, integrated, United States has $20,000. China is $10,000. India is $1,000. Canada is $2,000, and Mexico is $1,000.
but we do agree that it is the best solution for all countries because we're never going to get anywhere if we keep trying to go off on our own. This is why humans are inherently stick together and work together because we know that it is the best solution for all of us, and that does certainly apply here.